Hi guys, Darren Sims here, Gaming here. Welcome back to the building the sewer tutorial. Okay, so we've got a pretty good chunk of the sewer built now. We've also got some city around here. We've got a bus floating in the air. It all looks cool from down here. Okay, so what we're going to do now then is we are going to copy some of the cool features we've got in the bit with the river. The lake. Sorry, the water. I've got to find out where it is a minute. Should have made a map. No, is that it? Yeah, that's it. No, it's not. Just find out where we're going. I think it's running to the left here and up here. No, that's not it either. Oh, how silly. But what I'm going to do when I finally find the room is I'm going to copy some of the configurations of the flora that we've got. Let's go over here a minute. Let's see where the water is. That's the best thing. Oh, there we are. Yeah, and we're gonna see this flora looks quite cool. We're gonna put that in some other tunnels. I mean, you can be a little bit more fussy about making it as different as you want, but for now, I'm not sure why those lights are doing that. Very strange. So we're gonna take some of this flora. We're gonna highlight chunks of it. Probably enough, I would have thought. And we're going to duplicate it, bring it apart, and we're going to put it in another part of the tunnel where it isn't at presently. So we've got this bit here, look. So we'll turn it round and we'll drop it down, slide it over. So it's the right level, of course. And then just pop it into the right position. About that, I would say. Let's have a look. Yeah, that one's alright. Though that one's not, look, so we can probably move it. There we go. Yeah, probably bring it. No, that's fine. There we go. That sort of thing. And straight away we've just completely decorated another tunnel without too much work. And then obviously we can move them individually around. Just to correct, then we can bring this one perhaps down a bit. Oop. It's like that. There we go. You could do that of any of it really. And then we will take some more. What's that one doing there? Let's have a little look at that. Where's that one out in the middle of nowhere? Is that a very long one, is it? Yeah, that's why. It's this one here, look. Ugh. Okay, let's do this the easy way. There. That one. Drop it down. No, that's okay, we'll leave it because we've connected to that one. That's just a rough bit. We can probably leave that one where it is. Yeah, we just got the bottoms of it coming through the top of the roof, which is cool. Now, what we can also do now is duplicate those. goes to this bit over here. There we go, like that. Let's go down into it and see what we've got. Yep, that one's okay. Bring that one across a bit, perhaps up a bit. Yeah, like that. This one, I don't like it when it goes through the ground too much. Bring that one over a bit. Yeah, that's okay. It's coming through the wall a bit, but I'm not sure that looks too bad. We'll do that and we'll push it back a bit like that. There we go. That one can come over a bit. Probably up a bit. Yeah. That one. Like that. Yeah, so that worked pretty well. I mean, there wasn't too much went wrong with that. We can probably do. Let's have a look. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll grab that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And we will move them there. Like this. Let's move that one over a bit. Like that. Yeah. That's cool. So you can see you can actually get quite a bit of decoration done without doing too much groundwork, really. I mean, you can put those in and then you can just tweak them separately afterwards just to put them where you want them. So it's a pretty cool way of doing it. So set one tunnel up and then use the other tunnels foliage for a different configuration later on. Alright, let's take have a look. What's the longest one? Let's take this one again. So we'll take that one, that one, that one, and that one, that one, that one, and that one. Oh, not that. That one, and that one. And we will put it, let's have a look, where haven't we got any foliage? Well, let's duplicate it first. Okay, we definitely duplicated that, have we not moved it? Yeah. Over there I can see a place with absolutely zero foliage. Pardon me. Very rude of me. Bring it across, drag it in, drop it down. Into place. Probably something like that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Of course, you can also scale these plants up as well, make them smaller or bigger if you want. Move this one back a bit, just in the way of the doorway. Yeah, like that. Okay, so you basically get the picture. So just by duplicating across like that, we're getting quite a bit of on this one here. We can literally just bang, 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 drag those over here like so. You can go in and just move them around a bit. Actually, you're not going to notice that even if they are the same, to be honest. That one there can probably go up a bit and probably back a bit, actually, like that. So there's a bit of breathing room. There we go. We'll probably copy that. Whoops. Copy that one. Duplicate it. Bring it across a bit. Yep, that's what we need on that one. I could do that anywhere you want, really. But this could very well be where we come out of the city, into the city. I don't know yet. You could also put some foliage in. As you can see, that one's come through there. Let's see which bit that is. As I said, it's not a mega problem, bit of it is. We just slide it over like that, so it doesn't come through. Okay, so that's that. So what we're going to do now then is, as you know, Gary is going to be making us our own controller. But because we've not got one at the moment, it's not ready to come in, what we can do is we can actually add some of our own effects to our first-person character. So we'll start doing that now, just by adding component. Let's have a look. Is it effects? Spare me 2 seconds. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to pause that then. Sorry, guys. So look, we want anti-aliasing for a start. Okay. Now we're just going to go with the Mode FX AA3 console at the moment. That looks okay. We'll also put some bloom on there. Bloom optimized. No, we just put bloom on for now. Not use bloom optimized. Okay, and we can mess about with that. I'm not sure whether we need to be in player just to check that. We might have to. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're going to need to be in the player for that. That'd be fair. And we'll put some. Just trying to think what else we use, which would be quite good. Color curves is a good thing. I'm not great with color curves, but it can be quite good. Oh, probably some tone mapping actually. Let's have a look where the tone mapping is. There it is. Some tone mapping in. Photographic is usually what I go for. So what I'll do, I'll pause it now and I'll start the player, and we can start messing around in the player with the lighting that we want. I think what we've also done as well, which I need to remember, so we can see what we were doing. I've basically turned some of this down, so we only want the ambient intensity very slightly. For direct lighting, it should be set up okay. So I'm going to press this, I'm going to pause it, and when we load in we'll be in the game. Okay, so we are in the game now. As you can see, we've got foliage everywhere now. The lights are casting some nice shadows. So let's go to there we go. So everything's looking a lot more ambient. So let's go to where our water is. We've got our effects and smoke. Not many fires at the moment, obviously. There we go. See, can you see it's basically looking very nice now? So this would be a good place to try out the bloom, actually. So you click anywhere in the grey when you're in this, and then you get to work on this without it moving the camera around. So we're going to go back to our first-person camera. Okay, and we've turned bloom off. You can see it's not doing a lot, but you can see that light at the roof. It is doing something, and we can increase that bloom intensity or decrease it. I think it's probably set right about 0.5 actually, probably a bit higher. With the anti-aliasing, which is on, you can see you turn it off. It just adds a smooth kind of filter on top of it post AA. Now, a lot of people don't like it. I'm not a fan of it because it does add a blur, but you can basically try different ones. You can try FXA2, not quite as blurry. FXA1, that might be the best one for this actually. Let's have a look. I think that's probably the one to go with. Now, any changes we're making here, we'll need to go back and make them afterwards, so we're just testing this in the game engine. So let's have a tone mapping. Now we've got different types of filters. Photographic is one we're using now. We've got Simple Reinhard, which is kind of a weird one. It's not too bad on us, but when we tried this one in the city, it was horrendous. So we've got user curve, which you can imagine is a bit dark. You'd have to adjust that one quite a bit. We've got Hable, which is another one people use sometimes. Photographic is one we used. We've got this one here, Huge Dawson. Adoptive Reinhard. All right. Now this one can look okay if you mess around with it, but where are we? So whites, I think we need to change. Yeah. If you mess around with it, you can kind of get it looking okay, but it's not the one we're going to use. And then you've got the auto white, which is horrendous. So we're going to go and we're going to stick with the photographic, because that's the one that suits us. Okay. Let's get to the bit with the water on it. So everything's looking a lot more, I don't know, a lot lighter and a lot more alive now. Everything's smooth because we've got the AA on it. And all I need to do now is just find our water. Now this one's really dark. The reason I've left that one dark is because we will have a torch, and I want the torch to be effective, obviously. I believe. Obviously we haven't filled that in yet. So you can see everything's just a bit smoother. We want to be over there, really. There we go. That's where we need to be, I believe. Yeah. So we need to fix that. There we go. So this is basically the tunnel that we've done the most work in. You've got the fires. Now, if we hold that, for instance, and when we try the bloom, go back to the bloom. Where we got it? Bloom. Turn the bloom off. Check the fire out. Can you see that? It's not a lot, but it adds a bit. So we can do as much of this as we want. Let's have a look. There we go. You see, it's crazy there. So I think probably the bloom at about 1 might be good. Bloom threshold. It's at 0.5 before, wouldn't it? Let's do it about that. So it's a little bit more bloom than we'd probably use. Yeah, it is. Look. There's more bloom than we need there. But it is looking very nice. Yeah, we've got too much bloom, so what you could do if you wanted to now is just stop the player. Everything will go back to default settings again. I think our default setting is probably about tell you what, let's stop it. Let's see what the default setting is, because I can't remember. Yeah, it was 0.5, 0.49. Okay, so you can do all sorts of things with this. I mean, you can add all sorts of different components. You can put all sorts of filters on there. Now, what we haven't added yet, which is really important in the sewer, we want to add our own ambient occlusion to it. Space screen ambient occlusion is what we want. Okay. And we'll start the player on again. It should start straight away this time. Yeah, it does. So let's go to a nice place where we can try this out. It should work okay. Alright, so let's go to the ambient occlusion. Right. So we want occlusion on high. We put it to low, look. Can you see the occlusion changer there? And then we put our occlusion intensity up to maximum 4. Now straight away there. So you see that? That's the default. Look at that occlusion coming in there. We want that high. I really love that, especially for this level. It just makes everything so much more Well, just so much better. Especially when we've got the torch on as well. So you can see now we've got atmosphere galore. It's probably, actually, it might be a little bit too much. Yeah, we're a bit too high there. So we probably want to go to, where are we? Perhaps like that. Yeah, that's about it. Here we go, look. Everything's just got a lot more richness to it. What you also want to check as well, you want to check that things like your plants, well anything, and all your props, they're all casting shadows. You don't need things like the dirt to cast shadows. That's just unnecessary CPU process that we don't need. Let's have a look. Yeah, by default they're all on anyway. So that's cool. So yeah, you can basically just by clicking add component, you can add everything you want to that. I recommend just messing around, trying all the different filters. You can put film grain on it, which I hate, but you can do that. Now we're on user setting, but I think we're using deferred on this one. Just check that hasn't made a difference. We should be using deferred. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So there we go. It's a stark contrast there too. There we are without any of the lighting we've added. Okay, still looks okay. And then just by putting the game lighting on here. I mean, it's literally a completely different scene, isn't it? And bang, bang. Instantly, boom, realism. Now what you also want to do with this, you need to do this when your level is finished completely, really, because the occlusion culling takes into account any gaps. So basically, at the moment, I've not completely sealed. Oh, let's get off of that a minute. I've not completely sealed all my level yet. There's still walls that haven't been finished and stuff like that. There, we don't want the occlusion culling to be seen through there. So when you've done all that and you've made sure there's no crevices or cracks and everything's joined together perfectly, that's when you do your occlusion culling. Now, if you didn't catch it in the hospital tutorials, that's right. If you go and have a look through those, one of those tutorials is specifically designed to explain the occlusion culling. So if you check that, really important. Makes quite a big difference on this one, as you can imagine, because there's corners and stuff. So when you get to the end of a corner, it's not drawing this part at all until you get about there. So you can save a lot of frame rate there. But yeah, again, the difference in the lighting is quite incredible, really, with just a post-process effects. See what I mean? It really is awesome the way things have come on. That one there needs to be moved. We can't have that in the way of the. I'll probably take it that way. We have a hatch. There we go. So yeah, there we are with the water and all the reflections on it. Lighting off. Lighting on. I love it. I mean, I'm still, I've been in computing for a long time, but it just impresses the hell out of me, all this stuff. I love it. Just magical, absolutely magical. And simply made, really easy to make, and you've got yourself a really cracking looking sewer. Now you imagine zombies coming through there at you. You've got like a crowbar. It's going to be pretty scary. We've got a bit of an error there by the look of it. Where was that? Where did I see that? There we go. Let's have a look. I believe it's... I think it's out on the Y, is it? Yeah, but so is that. It's a bit of a problem. That can happen sometimes. If we drop that one and just re-click it. There we go, that's fixed it. Very easy for those little things to creep in. especially if you've got your water on one of the tiles that's not clicked together. That can play havoc with your occlusion culling. So yeah, so I mean, we're practically done on the sewer level now. I mean, obviously all I've got to do is go and tidy it up, but you can understand that that's not something it's worth doing a tutorial on, just putting the ends on. Obviously you can mess around to your heart's content with all the smoothing options. Whoops. There we go, view smoothness and all that. You can see the wall changing there, look. You want it a bit wet, but not too much. Just dank. I want it dank. One more time before I go, because I just love it so much. Lighting off. Lighting on. Awesome. Probably put some more fires around for sewer as well. Could put a few more skeletons around, that would be cool. And remember what I said about the quests. Make sure you leave yourself objects to use as quests. It can be as simple as, like what I've used an afterburner effect coming across here. And then one of the quests is we need to get to the area where we've got one of these. Turn the light off, to turn the pipe off, the controlling the flow of fire to the pipe. And then when we've done that, we can get through, and then perhaps in this room, to get to that skeleton, for instance, it could be happening here. I mean, a skeleton could have a key card. If a key card could take you to a different part of the sewer. So all those sort of things. And in the next tutorial, we're going to be leaving the sewer and going up into the city, which is going to be cool because we're going to be looking at the terrain tools, which can get a bit sticky sometimes. You need to get used to those. We're going to be looking at that in the next tutorial. So that's basically all on the sewers. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're interested in level 3 of the city, please join me for the next tutorial. I've been Darren Simmons for Game Institute, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks again.